It once happened that a man named Tenali Rama wanted to find the modern-day Shambhala, the mythical kingdom of various spiritual traditions. It was said to be the greatest place of wisdom and peace in the universe, where every being was enlightened. Tenali Rama wanted so badly to find this place, but he couldn't find reliable directions. The only thing he managed to find was an old, worn map. This map showed paths that were familiar, but it was very outdated. Some of these roads have changed, and some of the new ones were just plain missing. This map, like many spiritual approaches, entirely omitted the newly forged roads necessary for going through the modern and current spiritual landscape. This made his journey not just challenging, but borderline impossible, so he never got anywhere. Embarking on a spiritual journey can be very exciting. You start meditating every day with the hopes of someday being free, being eternally happy. As long as your motivation lasts, this is great. You may feel a greater sense of calmness in daily life. You may even have some experiences or insights here and there, but eventually, a sense of stagnation, a feeling of lacking direction, like you're wandering through the dark without really being absolutely sure if you're on the right track, that feeling starts to emerge. Or perhaps nothing really happens and you don't feel anything, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying even though nothing happens. Most spiritual seekers start with what I call bridge or dualistic practices and have dualistic understandings, which are fine initially. See them as warming up or bridges to the non-dual shore. Yet, without realizing it, many of these sincere seekers are subtly reinforcing the ego in the sense of separation, which keeps them more firmly grounded in Maya, in samsara, in incompleteness. Eventually, you arrive at a profound understanding, what is called non-duality, the deepest form of spirituality. But to be honest, even there, non-dual teachings can be very vague, often diluted into their bare simplicity, like just being told, just be aware, or just inquire, who am I? Which is fine, but vague. I have heard that one day, Tenali Rama, living in South India, decided that he wanted to visit the Himalayas. He didn't know where they were, so he just started to ask around, and all he got was, go north. This is absolutely true. On the surface, indeed, it's in the right direction, but on a deeper level, is it really helpful? Other times, non-dual teachings can be extremely dense and intellectual, feeling more like scholarly work than nourishing spiritual guidance. Is this the non-dual practice of I am? Is this self-inquiry? Am I meditating on emptiness? Am I doing it right? These are all questions I hear all the time when I meet some non-dual seeker and practitioner. I've heard from many seekers from various backgrounds who have devoted years and years and years to non-dual practice and inquiry, and it is very, very evident that they often find themselves just walking around in circles. I've always seen enlightenment more as an art than a science. There are certain steps that we must all take to the ultimate freedom, but there's also space for your own unique dance. All this being said, I have noticed that most seekers find that having a structured map or approach greatly enhances their spiritual journey. The benefits far, far outweigh the disadvantages. A well-defined map of enlightenment helps understanding the various steps on the non-dual spiritual journey and offers a sense of direction which helps prevent detours or stagnation. I'm not really interested in convincing you of anything. I don't want to preach anything. I don't want you to believe in anything I say. I just want you to have direct experience. I want you to know for yourself what spirituality and non-duality is all about. It couldn't be any other way. No genuine seeker should ever be bound by cultural and traditional approaches and doctrines. The path must be clear and equipped with practical wisdom that's designed to guide you, not just into temporary insights, but toward liberation, true liberation in this lifetime. In this lifetime, yes. Without the guidance of such a map and teachings, it is very easy to lose your way, feeling lost with no real progress to show for all your efforts. Without these stairs, reaching the top of the castle of reality would seem like an unsurmountable feat. After all, to say that someone goes directly from pure ignorance to full embodiment of liberation with nothing in between, it's not accurate. This has been a huge misconception in non-dual circles, where teachings such as the beautiful recognition of I am, that unbounded sense of self beyond the personhood, is mistaken for liberation or labeled as full enlightenment. Turning 180 degrees from objects to discover the subject of experience, to discover the impersonal consciousness, is a fantastic great step, but it's not enlightenment. It's like winning the 100 meters dash in a high school meet and believing that you are winning the gold medal at the Olympics. There's so much to unfold after this initial realization. The truth is that any profound state that transcends the heavy, burdensome, psychological dimension of the mind will give a sense of finality. It's like going on a hike, reaching a ledge, and then believing yourself to have arrived at the summit, just because the clouds do not allow you to see that there's higher and higher peaks waiting above. Taking all of these into consideration, I created the Tree of Liberation, a simple yet comprehensive map or approach to the spiritual path that leads you from ignorance to love, bliss, happiness, peace, fulfillment, enlightenment. It maps out all the key stages along the way, all the key shifts along the path of liberation, not just in terms of realizations, but also in terms of how these realizations are being embodied, how you are expressing them across every aspect of your multidimensional being. The Tree of Liberation isn't a repackaging of old doctrines or a conceptual model meant for intellectual entertainment. It's a direct approach to the process of awakening and liberation. It is practical, non-dogmatic, rooted in lived experience. And in this YouTube video series, I will go through the various phases of the Tree of Liberation in each video. The first phase is all about self-realization. This is a deep recognition of your essential nature, not as a body, not as a mind, not as any constructed identity, but as the blissful, self-aware being. The second phase is about the unknowable, groundless ground, before light, before I am, often called unmanifest or absolute. The third phase, before liberation, with pure selflessness and emptiness, or anatta and mahashunyata, I call it luminous suchness. And then comes liberation. But we will approach all these phases throughout this series. These teachings are about directly having profound, non-conceptual realizations and insights, but also making them a living part of your experience, of here. I want you to be the living manifestation of such realizations. Is it possible? Undoubtedly. I wouldn't be here otherwise. This effective approach will enable you to investigate yourself, to investigate the nature of reality through non-dual practice, inquiry, contemplation, meditation, transmission, and through your own living experiences in life, like a dynamic system, an ever-unfolding teaching, an approach that continuously reveals greater wisdom and insight. It is not a creation of a person, but from that which is beyond the personhood. It manifests every day in unexpected yet beautiful streams of unfoldment. What do all human beings want? Freedom, wholeness, love, happiness, peace, truth. Is it possible to achieve those things? Yes. In this lifetime, there's no other time than now. There's no plan B. If you feel the presence of authenticity, if you feel the presence of the truth, then you'll be able to surrender much more and you'll be much more open. Your motivation, your dedication will be much higher and your non-dual sadhana will be on point. If your confidence is just 50%, that's going to reflect in your motivation, in your dedication, in your surrender, in your practice, and so on. So the question is, are you 100% into this journey? Are you willing to pour your heart and soul into this path, into these teachings? If you are watching this right now, it's not a random occurrence. You have the potential. Will you have the dedication? Only you can answer. But your heart, Your heart has no doubts.